Welcome to the One on One podcast with your host, Juan Ayala.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Illuminati confirmed 2024.
Here we are.
Illuminati confirmed.
In the future. After a long hiatus, the boys are back in town, and only one of us is wearing a gown. What's up, Chris? What's up, Juan? It's good to be back on the mic.
What a pleasant surprise. What's up, guys?
Yep.
What's new, Chris? Like, what have you been into, bro? The powder wizard over here. Talk to us, bro.
Yo, shredding the gnar.
I always forget that you guys like talk on these things all the time too, so you're probably like well aware of what each other are up to or whatever.
Sometimes.
No. Juan and I haven't podcasted in a long time either. So this is a reunion for all three of us. It's not just a reunion for the three of us.
Dope. Yeah, all good over here, man. Just, waiting for winter, I guess, and just, regular. What's up with you two? How's the pods going?
Great. Winter came early. It's frosted your tips, dog. What's going on? No, we actually
COVID got me, dude. The vaccine turned me white, dude.
Oh my god.
We need to detox you, but no, I feel like I've talked to Chris more recently than I've talked to Juan. Chris and I have been chatting it up on the phone here and there. We even concocted a plan to we'll be fleeing to the Aegean as soon as it hits the fan in November. So, what do you think of that, Juan? Do you want to flee to the Aegean with us?
Is that the Aegean Sea?
Yeah, Greece, baby. Greece it
up. So we recently survived a hurricane sent over from the foreskin of the Illuminati to try and take us out because, everything is a conspiracy nowadays, right?
Yes.
But I don't think I'll be going to the Aegean Sea anytime. Isn't that where Tom Hanks went? Because allegedly they let PDF files roam free there. And speaking of PDF files, I had somebody hit me up because I guess one of my listeners was sending messages about, you guys ever heard of that Zerka guy?
No.
Zerka? Is he a Greek person? Sounds like a Greek name.
No, Zerka is like this streamer influencer guy, and he is literally a self-proclaimed PDF file. And I guess like one of his producers or assistants or something hit me up and is like, hey, you've been trying to get a hold of him? And I'm like, bro, he's literally a PDF file. And I'm not going to do an episode with a freaking dude who literally says it straight up on streams that he does that sort of stuff. And it's like one of my followers, I guess, was like in the chat of one of the lives and like kept saying that I was trying to get a hold of him because he's into the occult and all that stuff.
Where is this coming from? I feel like me and Chris just got blindsided with a real weird topic. Is this a side effect of you entering the world of video game streams? Now you're hanging out with a bunch of creeps?
No. So it came up because Tom Hanks allegedly went to Greece.
Ah, okay. Yes, okay, that makes sense. Okay, yes. And it's funny because I just saw an interview with Tom Hanks' son, old Chetty boy, Chetty Baka Hanks.
What?
Yeah, Chet Hanks. He's like the
Juan don't know.
A Rastafarian?
Well, that was
better, dude.
Yeah, that was a part of his story arc for sure. But he was recently on the Adam Friedland podcast, which is a good podcast from time to time. I don't know, it's hit and a miss. It's always different, but it was pretty interesting. And one of the things that Chet had explained on the show was how, Adam Friedland was taking credit for teaching Chet about the Drake Kendrick beef. And apparently, Chet Hanks did this viral video with his dad, where he was explaining to his dad the Kendrick Drake beef, which is interesting because that all centered around Kendrick calling Drake a pedophile, and that ended the beef, right? So I don't know. Again, Tom Hanks just seems to be in the zeitgeist of anything PDF Isles, or however you said that one.
It seems like our boy Chet here, which this is the first time I'm ever seeing him. It seems like he's having a bit of the, again, no disrespect to anybody, but a bit of the Weston Cage syndrome, where he's trying to outlive the shadow of his dad, which his dad, you know, Tom Hanks, he may be what he is, but I'll say this. He can make a hell of a movie. Castaway.
Fan?
I'm a fan of the movies. I'm not a fan of the guy, if that makes any sense. Castaway, the pirate movie. I mean, freaking Toy Story. I'm going to be one of the Martians from Toy Story for Halloween with the kids. So he can make a hell of a movie, and I can imagine him trying to, similar to Weston, where he's trying to do his own thing, become an artist himself and all that, trying to outlive.
Bro, what the is the point? Just spend daddy's money on the yacht, bitch. What the are you doing, bro? What an idiot. These people blow my tits off. Like, yo, go buy jet skis, you dip, and bang models and cruise around Earth and eat sushi in Japan and shit. Like, what are you doing? Trying to rap, you retard? Like, God,
he's
damn
trying to become an individual.
Bro.
Yeah.
In validation. He never got any validation from his father because his father's living the life of a famous actor, which you're never going to have any time for your family with that kind of schedule. So it's just like the childhood trauma of dad never plays baseball with me that just gets exaggerated and exacerbated until, you know, you're a 40-year-old going through a midlife crisis wondering why you have bleach blonde dreads, which that's not where Chet's at currently, but he is tatted up. And I don't know, like, I look at Chet and I'm like, that's pretty cool. Like, I wish I had the confidence to just like be a complete asshole like that. But at the same time, Chris, to your point, if you have that much money, that much wealth, that much access to like high levels of society, why be some chump getting embarrassed on the internet for like mediocre attempts at being, you know?
Dude, like, this is the Roman circus. Like, the emperor is looking down and watching the people fight. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we are as normal people. We just down here battling it out, and they're up in the stands like laughing, you know? And I just feel like, why come down to try and be a gladiator, dude? Just stay up in the stands and like eat turkey off the bone, you know what I mean? Like,
you think it could be like 3D chess where like it's almost like they realize like Tom Hanks is like legacy. Like, they're not going to have legacy celebrities like Tom Hanks ever again. So now they're almost setting the stage for like Chet Hanks to like come in and be like this cool bro podcast kind of dude. I'm serious. It seems that way. Like, you know, because our generation's going to look at Chet and be like, yeah, I remember when he was on Adam Friedland's podcast, bro. You know, and then when he's Tom Hanks' age, he's like a dynasty Hollywood person. Now they've just assembled those people who used to be kind of fringe podcast fans. Now they're legacy Hollywood, you know, customers.
So dude, like,
legacy.
So like the old way, I hear you. It's like continuing the momentum, right? Like a family affair. Like, we're in Hollywood, like Will Smith's kids or whatever, right? Which is retarded to me too. But like, dude, the point was back in the day to make money in the city and then go back to the country and chill. And these people, the sickness is that they want to be in front of everybody all the time, talking about this, that, and the other. Doesn't matter what. It's just attention. It's the Tekashi 69ing of the world. It sucks, man. It's like, dude, like, you know, I always thought the idea was to get hella bread and then like just stealth cruise, chill.
Well, this dude's been in some movies. He's been in Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Larry
But I'm saying,
Crown,
why?
Project
If
X.
if you already got billions and millions of dollars, like, why? What's the point?
Well, we can step that into like an occult perspective of like, why do these people like to be in the limelight? We know that nowadays data is a commodity, attention is a commodity.
Yeah,
and it's like, what are they doing with that attention? Even though they already, how you're saying, they already have all they could possibly want. Are they actually lizard people, or are they homunculus? Like, what are they? Because it seems like that, right? There's like this nepotism in Hollywood and all. in the government. You're talking about the emperor. Well, the emperor has no clothes, bro. So he's probably jerking off watching everybody fight in front of them. You know what I'm saying? Like on his high horse or his throne or something. So I think it has more to do with that, of taking that energy and, you know, again, transmuting it, to use an alchemical term, to power themselves, or who knows what these people are ruled by, man. We don't know if they have these inner demons within themselves that take over and they need more.
That makes sense, bro. Like that makes sense, is like turning the attention towards the direction that you want it, thus like being a conduit for it, right? And I that totally makes sense to me. But like, other than that, it's just like patting yourself off. It's just masturbating. It's like, go spend dad's money. Like, flee to the Aegean, dude. That's what I would do.
Speaking of the Aegean, right? We have
or anywhere else nice. I'm just saying.
Anywhere else.
Yeah. Like, go to Brazil, dude. You know, like, or go to Thailand and be like a trillionaire.
Yeah. Or go to Vietnam. My buddy lives in Vietnam, and beers there are like 25 cents.
I'm saying,
like a dinner will cost you $1, bro. It's like, it's crazy the amount of money that you can, with the conversion rate. But I had a question for you, because I know you like to ski the slopes and the baby powder, bro. And where you go, dude, is there? Because I was listening to this YouTube video on this mountain in, I believe, somewhere in Nepal or Tibet, somewhere over there. I'll look up the name of it. And it's the mountain that is least, it's not one of the highest, but it's one of the ones that hasn't been scaled by anybody, because it was shut down in 98 or something like that by the Chinese government.
Accessible mountain?
No, it's got a different name. I'll look it up here. But
it's in China. It's a big mountain in China.
I'll look it up here. But the ones that you go on, dude, do they have any weird lore or anything like that? Any stories?
You ever ski past a Yeti, bro?
Yeah.
The only thing I've ever heard is like people say there's like, the Japanese think that there's spirits in the trees, so they don't like ride in the trees. And then other than that, you just see kind of like where we go, they say like this guy's spirit is in a bird, whatever, and you see this bird all the time, and that thing follows you, dude. It's like kind of a trip, actually. But other than that, no.
Mount Kailash.
Big ass, like a big ass, like raven kind of bird, you know?
Yeah. That's cool. Incredible. That's kind of what I've been writing about, focusing on, trying to get a new book together. Well,
on what?
On so the word augury, which now people think of it as kind of like a branch term that kind of deals with anything like looking at nature for signs, but the Romans actually it meant looking at birds and understanding like different signs that maybe God was, or the gods were trying to send you through birds.
Well, birds are fake and gay, so tell me something else.
Don't come at my
birds are CIA assets to spy on us, and that's why they're spying on Chris every time he goes up. The same bird is there, and then they mask it with like, oh, it's the spirit of Jumanji. This guy.
Fucking Jumanji, man.
You're on some tricknology right now, dog.
Oh hell yeah, dude! This is Yakub talking, dude. This is white devil trying to
Yakubing us, bro. All right, let's look at this tricknology.
So, here. So we have Mount Kailash, and Kailash, however you say it, it's in the Nagari Prefecture, Tibet Autonomous Region of China. Okay, so it's in China. Now, the lore behind it is that there is a god sleeping within this mountain, and it's got some interesting aspects.
Without like a parachute.
No, so here, listen. So, there is a story of these hikers that tried to climb the mountain, and when they tried climbing the mountain, they noticed that they were aging as they were climbing, so they went back and came back down, and they all died of old age. All the people who had climbed the mountain died of old age. And people talk about feeling a certain type of way when they're going up in the mountain. And a lot of people think that it's a pyramid of some sort. It has a swastika in the on the side of the mountain, essentially, when the snow
What?
melts.
Nazi mountain, bro. What are you talking?
Well,
Zoom in.
Hitler sent people to it to try and find something, bro. Hitler had sent like a whole party.
I see it, bro. I see that.
So I don't know if it's this side, but it's like one of these. So it's like
go back to that other page where this mountain zoomed in a little. Yeah, bro. You can kind of see it there, dude.
I don't think it's this side. So
it is, dude. But either way, go for it. Type in Mount Kailash swastika. Maybe somebody will have it highlighted.
Dude,
And
also, you got to look at that thing. It's different from everything around it. It's like a different color. It's like,
yeah. What if this is the Black Mountain?
It is the Black Mountain.
The lore.
Yeah, it is. It does have. They call it. So each one of the. So check this out. Each one of the faces raises the 9-level swastika. It is believed to be the center of the earth and has the 4 faces. 4 rivers flow from it. Earth faces, and it's got 4 different sides. Some people say it looks like a pyramid, right? It's not natural. It's desolate. There's like no plant life, no animals, no nothing on it. So it's super weird. And the fact that the government shut it down from anyone exploring it is even weirder. So mountaineering.
I'll be right back.
In 1926. And the area, let me see if I can find it here. Chinese. All right, so Italian mountaineer Reinhold Messner was given the opportunity by the Chinese government to climb the mountain in the mid-1980s, but he reportedly declined, saying, if we conquer this mountain, then we conquer something in people's souls. I would suggest they go and climb something a little harder. In 2001, permission was denied to a Spanish team who requested to climb the peak. Chinese authorities promised that any climbing activities on Mount Kailash were strictly prohibited. As of 2023, there have been no known successful ascent of the mountain. So, bro, and it's followed by all these religions: Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and the Bon religions.
The abode of Shiva is how it's described in Hinduism.
Yes.
That's what it just first sentence there. Wow. Yeah, this reminds me of like the Mount Meru, dark black mountain kind of symbolism in some ways. I mean, although this isn't at the top of the earth, I mean, if this was a flat map that somehow had the Himalayas at the center, I don't know, maybe the Himalayas are at the center of the world and we've just been given the wrong map.
And right, and there's something to that because of like a lot of people use Himalayan salt and they say that Himalayan salt is good for you. It's got like these rejuvenation properties, I guess you could say it. I use a Himalayan salt, the pink salt, in my food, right? So, and again, it's at the center of a lot of these major world religions. A lot of these religions talk about what some people could argue are extraterrestrials, ascended masters, fallen angels, whatever you want to call it. And it's at the center of a lot of these, you have the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, Kailash and Mansarovar.
This is also a part of a disputed region. So, I don't know. I feel like me and Juan are a little too young for this, but maybe Chris remembers this when he was younger. Do you remember, Chris, when there was like a ton of artists who were like doing like freedom concerts for Tibet? Remember the whole free Tibet?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, the dudes burning themselves, like self-immolation.
Now you don't see anything about it aside from maybe like old cars that still have like a bumper sticker on the back that say like free Tibet. But yeah, there's a whole history of Tibet versus China, and this mountain happens to be in that Tibet autonomous region. And you have to wonder, like, maybe, it wasn't just there was more to it than just political reasons for China wanting to own Tibet. Maybe they knew the power of this landscape and thought, well, we can't have Tibet be more powerful spiritually than us, so let's just absorb Tibet, right?
They're doing, China is trying to steal a little contested piece of land right now, apparently, that has to do with, it's just a super strategic place and it'll like choke out India, like if they get it essentially. So there's like beyond like the Nazi occult, like, like Shambhala, like idea of these places, right? Nepal and stuff. Like there's also just one way through the mountains, and if whoever has it wins.
Right. That's where the Indian Chinese soldiers are constantly battling too, right? And they have like some kind of weird rules of war where at certain times they're not allowed to use weapons or something like that, so they're just throwing rocks and sticks at each other, like literally like fighting medieval style to keep this mountain pass in India's control, because it would probably choke out that whole region's supplies, right? Because they're I remember I was watching this show. It's called like Deadliest Journeys or something like that. It's one of the best documentaries from like the early 2000s. Remember how they used to have those on TV, like hour-long episodes, and it'd be like a whole docu-series? But one of the couple episodes that they did, they just sat inside of a truck of a guy who drove through the Himalayas and delivered like goods to different like remote regions, and you'll have like 10 or 12 people living in a place that's only accessible 5 months out of the year, because 6 months out of the year, snow, rocks, and all kinds of other crazy stuff, it destroys the roads. So they're constantly rebuilding these mountain roads, constantly maintaining them, constantly getting stuck. It's a weird way to live your life up in those mountains. Like you think you can be off the grid and self-sufficient, but a lot of times they're way more dependent on the grid than anyone else because they're so remote.
Yeah, no, it would definitely take a certain way of life, and that's one of the things that plays into the whole hurricane HARP NOAA organization, where people are talking about they want to take out the Asheville or Tampa because they want to turn it into a 15-minute city where they want to put people in. Or you have the whole Agenda 2030 or whatever the hell it's called, where they want to put people and be more dependent on the system, and they're trying to systematically create these storms and steer them towards these large population areas, so that way they get flooded and they become dependent on the system. You have people literally hunting down FEMA workers and denying aid from FEMA workers. They just arrested a guy who was leading a FEMA militia, I guess, because he called to action to hurt these people who were trying to help them. And it's like, these are the people.
That's the weird thing that's going on right now, and I'm glad we're segueing to this, because this is kind of what we were planning on talking about, right? And you and I on the phone talked about how there's a lot of disinformation going around right now and making this storm maybe out to be something bigger than it is. But at the same time, like the people on the ground, some of which that I've spoken to, have said things like, yeah, we were helping people who were in really, life-threatening situations, and then FEMA comes along and tells us to stop and tells us we're not allowed to volunteer, we're not allowed to help. So I think that's where some of this distrust is coming from. And then also you're in a natural disaster zone where emergency services are already choked out, right? So there's already lack of emergency services. And now you have people with weapons fighting each other. I mean, this is chaos, right? Like you shoot somebody, there's no legal ramifications in a disaster scenario,
So I'll say this, because I recently had applied to work with FEMA directly for the disaster relief, and they had been working, and a week into the job, they literally halted the job completely. And the reasoning for them was that allegedly they needed to reassess the situation, but they don't have a start time. So they literally shut us down, and they were like, yeah, we'll let you know. We have to. Now, I'm not saying this as like some sinister conspiracy, this cabal of people trying to stop people from getting aid. Because although this was blown out of proportion a little bit for my area, because I remember in 2004 when Charlie hit us, which hit us very similar to this last storm, it came up through Fort Myers and up through Central Florida. In 2004, it knocked our power out for like 3 weeks. We were out of school for like a month, where they cut our summer vacation short because we had missed so many days because of the storms. And that season was one storm right after the other. And this particular hurricane, I thought it was going to hit harder than it did in my area. And thankfully, right, I'm not trying to downplay the whole thing, and this is not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to say that it didn't hit as hard in my area how I thought, because I had experienced 2004, 20 years ago. Charlie completely decimated Central Florida, and I thought this storm was going to do the same thing, but it didn't. Although it did decimate where it hit. It hit Siesta Key, which has the largest collection of quartz sand in the world. Okay, supposedly this quartz sand comes from these mountains up. I forgot which mountain range, and it comes down and it collects in this beach, Siesta Key, and it's got the largest quartz sand beach in the world. Asheville, when the Hurricane Helene hit, Asheville has one of the largest deposits of quartz, of pure quartz, and quartz is used in the semiconductor microchip industry. And those operations right now have been completely shut down. So there's this quartz conspiracy, if you will, that they're trying to take down this network or this supply or whatever to either sell it to somebody else or, some other foreign entity. We don't know. But point being that weird things such as right before Hurricane Milton made landfall, right? You have Milton, Paradise Lost, Garden of Eden, all these different weird connections. Right before Hurricane Milton hit, they sprinkled the ashes of one of the, I want to call it maybe renowned or long-time meteorologists of NOAA, the organization, into the eye of the Category 5 hurricane before it made landfall. And this is the only time that someone's remains have been put into an eye of a hurricane. So they drove an airplane to the eye of the hurricane and dumped off this dude's ashes. And the package had the flag of Nepal, right? So we're talking about these different mountains, right? Nepal, Mount Everest, because he lived there for a while and taught the kids there. But the dude's birthday is he died March 3rd of 2023. So he died well over a year ago. Okay. Interestingly enough, right? So March 3rd, you have 33. Well, March 3rd is also the founding date of Florida. Florida was founded on March 3rd, 18 whatever, right? And we listened, it's bizarre. Why and this is why you look at it and you go, okay, these conspiracies are retarded. I don't believe that HARP is creating these storms. I mean, we can leave something up for divinity or God. I think that the amount of power that these storms create. Now, are they aiding in the creation of these? Are they heating up the oceans with XYZ? Maybe. Are they steering it? I don't think so. I mean, this is such a massive amount of energy. If you told me that a hurricane spawned in the center of the Michigan Great Lakes, then I'd be like, yo, Chris, I think there might be some to this HARP stuff. I think that maybe they are using lasers to create these hurricanes. But until then, we've had Did the Illuminati send the flood of Noah back then too? Like, was that the Illuminati? And they sent in a flood to wipe everybody out? It's like, no, I think it's, I think Mother Nature. And they've been, and here, I'm going to say this is a hot take. And when I said this, I got cooked. But perhaps global warming might be a thing. Or don't even call it global warming. Let's call it global honing. Right? Let's say that if it is all about frequencies and vibrations and all this, and they're using these lasers to vibrate the atmosphere, blah, 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 all this game. Maybe that's a possibility, that they're aiding in the destruction some way, shape, or form. They're pouring the ashes as some sort of ritual into this freaking hurricane, right? They put the ashes of this dude in this hurricane, and then the other hurricane hit Asheville. So it's like some sort of weird connection. Again, who knows, right?
Bro, you're throwing me for a loop. It's Mother Nature. Can't we just explain things like God? And then you're like, but also the ashes in Asheville. It's like,
So-
what do you right now? Is this a conspiracy or not?
No. So because this plays into the occult. It doesn't matter if they're causing a change, but as long as they make
necessarily-
themselves think.
They can change the weather with these occult rituals.
Why does Noah have a newsletter named The Alchemist? Like, That's weird. Like, what's the point? So you have to pay attention to the names. You get what I'm saying? Like it all lines up and it looks like a conspiracy, but I think that they're all ceremonial magicians where they're doing these things, believing that they're causing a change when in reality they're not. You ever hear the stories of people who summon demons and they go, okay, the demon's going to do what I want. And the demon steps out of the circle and goes, ha, psych, bitch. I can do whatever I want. It's that sort of like control.
You ever seen the Nine Gates, that movie?
Yes.
And at the end, he comes up on all the other ones in like robes, and he's like, "Bitch, you guys are whack. Like, what are y'all doing? This is retarded. Like, I'm Satan. What's up?" You know what I mean? And they're just like stupefied. But yeah, I feel like Juan, what you're saying is probably all real to some degree or another.
And Chris, real quick, I know. Because I get what Mark's saying. I know it sounds like oh, you're flip flopping. No. I'm getting into the aspect of like ceremonial magic of where like even if you're
going down, whether it's working or not,
yes,
it's here to be seen. There's no doubt.
Boom.
There's assholes in robes behind closed doors chanting.
Let's sprinkle the ashes. Let's sprinkle some ashes and see what you know 100%. What I'm saying.
Because it's the dark side. They've been on that to whatever degree forever. It is what it is.
It is. Yeah. No. Exactly. So. But the fact, like people talking about, dude, even my dad, as we're at this shop strapping down the carports, he's like, you think they're creating this stuff, man? My dad's like 50 years old on Facebook, way too much. And they're talking about like, oh, they're creating these things, aren't they? I go, Dad, Mother Nature, they've been talking about storms doing this for over 50 years now with global warming. So which is it, right? People talk about global warming and that humans don't have an effect on the weather, but then they're talking about literally creating hurricanes. So which is it? Do humans affect the weather or not? You're saying the same shit differently.
Is all of the above sprinkled in with actual and misinformation? You're just like trying to like pick out the individual elements out of a soup. You know what I mean? It's already been mixed together, bro. That's what reality is. It's everybody telling you the truth. It's everybody lying. It's everybody using their imagination. Everybody that's trying to quantify it into a scientific term. It's all of the above, man.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like I said, I just been looking around because I've been living here all my life. Even in Puerto Rico.
You think basically it's like, when they say like, all right, what is it? All right, it's a doodad. All right, but can it be weaponized? You know what I mean? And I think that's what we're dealing with. Just everything through the lens of, can it be weaponized? Can we freak people out to buy more toilet paper? Can we like move this thing so we can steal quartz for pennies on the dollar?
Where are the hurricanes in Russia? Or where are the hurricanes in North Korea?
Look at the CIA with the, the Bush family and like how that turned into like United Fruit Company. And it's like, at the end of the day, is it good for business?
Yeah.
Do you make more money?
Yeah.
Well, then it, man.
That's also part of it, dude, where unfortunately they are wiping people out, but at the same time, you don't think all those government contractors
do you think that
killing?
Lions are affected by the opinion of sheep? No, they bite you in the neck and they don't get. And that's how they look at reality. They go, "Hey, Mark, I'm taking all you." And you go, "But why?" You go, "I'm burning your house down too. Good luck, stupid."
And you're ugly, Mark.
And then you sat there going, "But I'm fucked." And you go, "I don't care, stupid.
Yeah,
I got all you too. What's up?" And it's just like gangsterism at the next octave, I believe.
Interdimensional gangsters, bro. How's that?
Pushing hurricanes.
Doesn't it just feel like when people say, we sent a thing out to the aliens, and then, yeah, but what if they respond? And what if they're bigger than we are?
Yeah. Aliens are faking gay, though, Chris.
Like, what if they look at us like we're the animals in the zoo? Like, yo, stupid. Give me all your lunch money. And you're like, I can't do nothing about it. They got lasers. You know what I mean?
How do you know we're not in their zoo already, bro?
It's kind of what it feels like.
Their science experiment. What if we're like, what's the movie Men in Black? Where we're a marble or something like that? Where they're playing a game. The aliens are playing the game and we're just inside their marble. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I think you and I have talked about this, Mark, where it zooms out. Or it zooms in, I'm sorry. And then it zooms out and we're just a marble in some cosmic game. Some two aliens just playing a game of whatever you play with marbles. But yeah, I think that's why it's pretty ridiculous, dude. But I feel like everyone and this can apply to a person, you know, in the microcosm or macrocosm. And it looks, because I know of people, bro. I know people personally who will do something that is bad for their health, and they will blame the Illuminati for. Now, I'm not talking about you, Mark. They will blame the Illuminati for getting blackout drunk and crashing into a pole. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, no. That was you, bro.
Yeah, bro. What?
The effect was you crash into a pole, and then the conspiracy is, oh, who made me black out? It's like, bro, it was you the whole time. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm still a little lost, though, because it's like, all right, you have a hurricane. Some guy wants his ashes poured into it. And there's also just so happens to be a Tibetan flag somewhere in the mix. Like, why are we?
Do you want to get more schizo? We can get more schizo if you want.
No.
I can show you schizo. Check this out. Here. Let's get more schizo. Because, right, let's say that they had no reason to sprinkle this dude's ashes into the hurricane, right? But check this out. So we have this is Bartzabel, the demon that Jack Parsons had summoned to bring in L. Ron Hubbard and Parsons' stolen wife back to shore from Miami when Parsons had stolen his yacht and all his money. Check out the sigil for Bartzabel here. This is the sigil for Scientology, and obviously it's flipped, right? So I flipped them and I manipulated them. And then this is the and mind you, Jack Parsons used this demon to conjure up a storm to bring the ship back into shore. And this is the flag of Nepal. Now, again, I flipped them and I manipulated them, but when you look for patterns, they're there, right? I mean, we can talk about this all day long, but it's kind of weird. You know, why would you record him on your flight logs and then piece him out as soon as you? So they record, this dude essentially was in the plane with them as a ghost or something. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, it's bizarre, dude. It's just weird that they would do this instead of tracking the hurricane and data logging it. They're doing this ritual essentially on the plane, dumping this dude's ashes into the hurricane.
Prince, what is it, Charles or whatever? He said he wishes he could come back as a disease or something like that. That's a quote, right? Yeah. So he can like kill people, right? And it's like, dude, don't you just think that, like, you know, the G20 and all that, like the Georgia Guidestones, like they've already made it known. Bring the population down to 500 million, right? And it's like,
it wasn't King Charles, bro. He's still alive. It was a Rockefeller, and it was something to the extent of
you got it, disease, whatever. Point being, kill. Point being, 500 million people on planet Earth. It does seem like the Klaus Schwabs and the Soroses and stuff, they want to kill people en masse. And it feels like all of these things are to that. Wait, just let me say this.
Just want to remind everyone, make sure to check out the show on Patreon, patreon.com/the One-on-One Podcast. I constantly get emails. Oh, only one episode a week. Yeah, one episode a week for the public, but for as little as $5 a month, you can get up to 2, sometimes 3, sometimes 1 episode per day on the Patreon, as well as on the YouTube channel as a member for as little as $5. And there's also on the Patreon over 250 episodes only found on there. There's an extensive backlog of episodes. So check that out. For those interested, for those asking, make sure to follow the show on YouTube, One-on-One Podcast. Also, One-on-One Media. I am going live every Tuesday on there streaming. I also go live on twitch.tv/One-on-One Podcast. So make sure to check me out on there Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern. And make sure to get your copy of the Occultus Mundi Homunculus Owner's Manual, all that good stuff at tjojp.com. Can pick up your copies there or go over to the Ko-Fi. I'm on Facebook, Twitch, Kick, Rumble, all that good stuff. You know where to find it, and enjoy this episode.
It feels like all those things are to that end, right? Whether it's gaining control of a resource, starting war. It just feels like chaos is the agenda. And it's like the benefit is that, you know, you can acquire commodities for pennies on the dollar for your multinational, whether that's, you know, a cereal or a chocolate bar. It's advantageous to buy that thing cheaper as to more money, as to separate yourself from the lower classes more so. That's, I think, the whole 30,000 of it. It's just the same old that we're aware of, which is just, you know, kings and castles and everybody else. And like that's
Yes.
what they like. It's that Game of Thrones, dude. I think it's just built into us, and that's why like Lord of the Rings and all this like resonates, because it's like that's human nature to some degree, you know?
Yeah,
Right.
but who's gonna mow the lawn at the castle, bro? They need.
You bitch ass.
I know, but they. What I'm saying is that they need the lower class to sustain
Absolutely.
themselves. You get what I'm saying?
100%. But the thing is, you got to make people so far down on the ring that they can't climb up to take you over on the ladder. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's what I think money comes in. It's like, it's this dividing factor, you know, it keeps people at bay. You can't, you got to worry about your motherfucking rent, dude. We got to worry about generational, you know, it's like, so there's like a different way in the calculations being done, right? And you can separate yourself or keep people at that lower. And I think that's, you know, bro, there's a lot of yachts in the world. We ain't on them,
Yeah.
you know?
Somebody owns them. Yeah. No, there is a lot of wealthy people. Go ahead, Mark.
Clarify, Prince Philip, who said that he wanted to reincarnate as a deadly to help solve the issue of overpopulation, and go figure that he died April 9th, 2021. So not quite a premonition, because he died after had already kind of hit the stage, but he did say that, I believe, before, because I remember reading about that.
It's probably super easy to take over the world if you like kill mass people.
Bro, this dude
And
looks like a. Check
you
this
ret-
out.
And then you retain military and all that intelligence. Like, think about it.
Bro, he died at 99, bro. You can't tell me this dude was not. You can't
Dude,
tell
he
me this
lived
dude wasn't a homunculus. Look at that face.
2021, 1921 to 2021.
Okay, April 9th, 2021. Be sure
Yeah,
to
that's
quote about death. Okay,
see
so,
what I'm saying?
all right. I get what you're saying, Mark. That he wasn't the C word, right? He was probably came back as herpes or something like that, because he looks like herpes, to be honest.
Back his monkeypox.
He looks like gonorrhea.
His monkeypox, bro. That was in 2022. He died in 2021. So, but yeah, no, very weird stuff. Good.
I think you guys, like, to be fair, like, too, and I think if you think about what that was I just said, right? It's like, imagine that all through the lens of two things. One called the democratic system and one called the communist system. Now imagine how easy it is to take over the world if everybody's a communist. And I think that's the agenda overall.
You think this dude was a racist, bro? How racist do you think this guy was, Chris?
Well, he's born in 1920 in what, England or Switzerland? I don't know.
This dude was racist as bro. This guy was super racist. You could tell 100%.
He wouldn't have even respected Chris or I, because we're not purebred.
Yeah, you're not of the Aryan descent. You know, have you gone to Mount Kailash and try to find the origins of the Aryans? You know, so yeah, bro. I don't know. That's so bizarre. In the event that I am reincarnated, I would like to return as a deadly in order to contribute something to solve overpopulation.
Similar to Peter Dodge, the scientist, saying, "Oh, put my ashes in a Category 5 hurricane." You know, it's
no one ever said that though, dude. I don't think anyone ever did say that. Like his sister
Dude,
was
think
there.
about, though, if you were pure evil, right? If you were pure, I'm Juan, I'm pure evil, right? What's your job? Your job is pure evil, is to sow chaos, division.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want your ashes in like a volcano that was about to explode and kill them?
They're just
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
you gotta, like, I think sometimes you just gotta study thy enemy, dude. And these people want destruction and chaos en masse. So yeah, all of the above, dude.
Wasn't it? Who was it? Was it Pike that said order out of chaos? Was that him or was that somebody else?
order out of chaos. I mean, pretty fundamental, like
right? Like
in it, Satan. Yeah.
yeah, I think that it was either one of those guys that talked about that. I think Pike also talked.
But yeah, he might have said it, but he definitely didn't invent it. That's like a Latin phrase.
Let's see here. Let's look up who came up with that. Order out of chaos origins. So, order out of chaos. There are multiple sources.
Is this DuckDuckGo you're using? Because if this is Google, I don't know if I trust it.
I'm using Google. Okay, I'm tapping into the hive mind of the demonic AI at Google, and it's Ordo ab Chaos. The invention of this model is attributed to the Supreme Council of the ancient and accepted Scottish Petit at Charleston, and it is first met with the patent of Count Grass dated February 1st of 1802. Nietzsche said it, though. Nietzsche said it. Out of chaos comes order.
Bro, you can't just like claim a phrase, bro. Phrases exist as long as there are people to put the words in a certain order, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, people
you're right.
say that, you know, before written word. But no, I hear you. I think I've remembered hearing about Pike saying something like that. Is there a reason why you asked?
No, because it plays into what Chris was talking about, that these people thrive off of the chaos. Like it's something about that, and I think pretty much in any story of creation, the world or reality is made from swirling chaos. You've heard it here and there. I know in the Taino myth, which is the Caribbean people creation story, it always talks about like the primordial sea and chaos, and then the deity or the god coming and forming reality out of that, right? He calms the waters and blah, blah, blah. First there was light, et cetera, et cetera. So there's something to be said about that is almost primal in something. You know what you're saying, Chris? Like people resonate with all these stories, the monomyth, the hero with 1,000 faces, because it speaks to like their soul, right? On a deeper level, and it makes them want to, I don't know, do stuff. Who knows? I don't know anymore, bro.
You're saying there's patterns within human beings, and like that's undeniable, right?
100%. And I think
that's
that
why, like there's these Greek stories, right? Because they're like depicting like as above, so below, right? Like the Mount Olympus going through basically the same trials and tribulations as what happens in a human life, right? Like these weird, your brother stabs you in the back, your wife leaves you, this, whatever.
Yeah, it's the personification of these inner struggles. I think it's like psychology 101, and I think that part of alchemy, especially Carl Jung and Jungian psychology uses, right? He talked about alchemy and how these alchemists, right, using this example, were the first self-help, right? Because they were kind of sort of personifying and bringing forth these symbols that they saw within themselves. And then if they're able to take that out of themselves and manipulate it in some sort of way in front of them, boom. Once you solve it, dude, you dissolve out of reality. And you fizzle out. And that's it, right? Like, you won. You won at life. You won at reality. You can control it from the outside now. What's next? And it seems like that's what these elites want. Like, they want to control reality at one level, using the media, using the news, using social media, using all these tools, using movies, right? We're talking about.
Do you think they would ever use baby oil, lube, hidden video cameras, booze with GHB in it, mansion parties? Do you think they'd ever do anything like that?
100%, bro.
Wait.
What were you saying, Mark?
Wait, so why would one do such things?
Blackmail,
black magic. What was the baby oil all for? That's a lot of baby oil, dude. The lawyer was like, he buys it in bulk from Sam's Club. What do you want him to do?
Yeah, it was Costco, and Costco wrote back and they were like, no, we don't sell that ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Costco was like, not our Kirkland.
No, but hey, all right, we're talking about people who run in these circles. You don't think that homeboy was like, let me call the CEO of the company, and so he can contact the warehouse at 666 Devil's Drive, so I can pick up a couple pallets of this baby oil. You don't think he made a little phone call and was like, hey, just load it up in the back of the pickup. Chris will go pick it up for us, and he'll bring it over to the crib.
So here's the Puff conspiracy that's so ill. Because, let me just give you my 30,000 on this.
33,000.
Dude, 33,000 on this one. America's biggest export at this point, I would imagine, is culture. Movies, music, celebrity, right? And I know there's commodity and all these things, but when you go abroad, that's what people know of America. What it, Levi's 501, James Dean, whatever. It's hip hop right now, but it's culture. We sell culture. So I would imagine if you were a three-legged organization, you might want to control that export. Right.
You get into memetics where
you just get into controlling shit.
Well, information, right?
You do that through blackmail. And that's why you hide cameras, and that's why you drug the drinks, and that's why you people on camera. And then you go, I got the tape, stupid. Don't say I'll kill you. And people go, yo, whatever you want, Puff. You know what I mean? And I think it's just that gangsterism taught to him by his higher ups. And also look at all the other record companies, dude. All the other CEOs of all the other record companies. I'll wait.
Do you think that this is like the
Where's Jay-Z? Jay-Z and Beyonce, silent like.
What do you think this is the equivalent of like what they did with Epstein when Trump was running? Because Trump has a lot of connections to P. Diddy, and there's a ton of look up P. Diddy and Trump, and there's like 30 photos of them together.
And look at the mayor of New York just got thrown away too. In that whole thing, they gave Puff the key to the city a year ago. You think these guys literally aren't in all? You ever seen Puff Daddy White Party? He has a 40 by 40 white bed.
Eric Adams.
Yeah, bro.
Bro, they really are interdimensional gangsters, bro.
Gangsters. Look up the bed. 40 foot by 40 foot white bed.
Isn't that what Kanye had done on that cover?
Oh my God, the one on the outside there to the left?
Yeah.
50-foot backyard bed. What are you doing on that bed?
You're extorting people. You're them, and then you're filming it, and then you're telling them, do this or else.
That's what he was doing here. Is that what maybe he was hinting at here?
Maybe.
I
mean, fuck, dude, Kanye West married, and dude, everybody loves his music, but dude, look at his wife. She got fucked by Ray J, became famous. Her dad was involved in the OJ trial. Like, this is some intertwined Hollywood weirdness. All the daughters on the show talk like, bro, you think Kim Kardashian and those people weren't at those parties?
Is that not like a Trump-like character? third.
100%.
I gotta censor this for YouTube, but yeah, I'm writing it down here.
Explain what we're talking about for people who aren't watching and just listening. There's the 50-foot white bed in Sean Combs' backyard, and then there's the art exhibition plus the album cover by Kanye West to the song "Famous," where it's a bunch of people, on a huge bed.
Dude, after Puff stopped having that white party, somebody else had the white party this year. They picked up where it left off or whatever. So this other mogul.
Oh wow, and who is that mogul? Mark Cuban?
So did you got pictures of Jeff Bezos with Diddy too?
Dang. That's what I'm saying. Maybe this is like the payback because Epstein them were connected to the DNC, so Trump was like, oh, all right, here, I'm going to talk about your boy Epstein. Boom. Now maybe serving that back for Trump because they're like, oh, you look what you did to our blackmail guy. Let's do this to your blackmail guy.
And Elon the other day was on a podcast with Tucker Carlson or somebody crazy talking about his ex-partner, who's the CEO of LinkedIn right now, is really worried about them things getting called out because he's on those lists with Bezos, with whoever, you know?
Wow.
Look how demonic Musk looks here when he came out and was talking about being the dark MAGA. Look how demonic he looks there, dude. He's got the black "Make America Great Again" hat.
You've seen him in the Satan armor, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that on this show.
Crazy, bro.
Got like the sabbatic goat on his chest there. So yeah, dude. You know what you're saying is more of a. So the way I talk about things is like acquiring power through the occult, right? Using magic to, get like Gandalf, right? Like shooting laser bolts and all. And these people are like, no, wait a minute. Like we're going to get power through real world. And we're going to put these people in these positions in this dimension, if you want to call it, right? We're going to make them do some messed up stuff, record it, and then show them on the phone, be like, hey, so what's going on here, bro? Are you going to go ahead and pass that thing for us, or et cetera, et cetera? And I would say that Diddy, if anything, is a much more powerful asset than Epstein ever was, because if you think about the influence that Diddy has, how you're saying, what you were saying about the culture and the music and all, that's like top of the line. People are focused in on that. People are focused in on Drake. People are focused in on Kendrick Lamar. These are people who, when they put stuff out, gets way more engagement than any of the mainstream news outlets do. So, and then think about how many famous songs does Diddy have? Is Jay-Z a good rapper? I don't think he's a good rapper. Do you think that any of those guys like actually rap? It feels like they're handlers.
Yeah.
More than anything in these situations.
Wasn't P. Diddy involved with the DNC too, to some degree? Like, wasn't he like campaigning with like Obama and like that?
Dude, remember Rock the Vote? Remember all that, bro? Like,
Jay-Z, but yeah, still, and not very far.
they're all tied into culture. That's the problem. It's like, that's what it is. It's this underbelly of America. It's called Hollywood. It's called fame. It's called, and that's what I'm saying. It's our export. That's what we sell, bro.
So
we sell the merch. Like how many basketball jerseys do they sell overseas, dude? There's like, it's good for business, and it's like, it's this big club that we're not in at some level. It's like, and who knows how far each individual goes into the thing, right? Puff goes a little deeper than others, but it's like, dude, what about the Leor Cohens of the world? And these are the other, top of movie theaters or production companies or top of whatever. It's like, I think they like just pull up one day and they're like, play ball or else, dude, or else you won't get contracts and we'll just drown you out. You know what I mean? It's like, I think it's just big business. It changes at different octaves. People, on the street deal business one way. People in a grocery store do business the other. I think it's just part of the gig. When you get to that octave of the world, it's just like, it's part of the deal. Like you should actively be being worried about getting extorted at all times. It's like businessmen in Brazil, they fly from, high rise to high rise in helicopters because they going on the ground, it takes too long. A and B, people will nab you and sell you.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, I think it's just part of the game, dude. You got to realize the terrain that you're within. It's like, if you ever read The Art of War, it's like there's different strategies for different places, right? And I would imagine the same thing. If you're in Hollywood, if you're in the CIA, like it's different rules. It's just different rules. So we're trying to like guess what like, a 5D chess game would be. It's like we can't even barely imagine 4D, like barely. So 5D is like it's out of our octave to even, you know what I mean? Like they say you can't comprehend God. It's kind of like that. It's like I think unless you're in it at a global, like.
Well, that kind of brings us back to the Chet Hanks thing where it's like, dude, you have access to this world outside of the fence that the rest of us are in. And
Sure.
You're trying to like get cool with all these like and like these rappers. It's like, why not just be famous? Or like, why not be famous and just be rich? That's what I meant to say, not famous. But yeah, it's just kind of like it becomes like you're trying to be something that you're clearly not, and it's also kind of what's the word I'm looking for, condescending almost, like he's trying to be just like this, like, oh yeah, I'm just a normal dude.
There's
Like,
something
no,
to be
you're
said
not.
about that though, Mark. Right? So they crave the normality. They're so overstimulated and so overfed of this money, this fame and stuff that they want to become essentially a regular person. And there's something to be said, almost like if like they're non-human in some sort of way, where like, and this goes back to any story of creation, any mythology where the gods want to come down and experience reality through man. I mean, that's the whole Nephilim thing. That's Zeus. Zeus was coming down and slinging dick, all the time. And there's something, perhaps it's what Chris said, that these stories are a reflection of ourselves, and it's telling a story of the inner battles that people go through on a daily basis or throughout their lives or throughout whatever. So this dude is super rich. His dad's one of the most well-known actors, right? I'm not talking about Wes, I'm talking about Chet. And he wants to be, what was he? I saw something on Reddit said proto Chet. Is he a homunculus? Like what?
That's how he's branding himself, as proto Chet.
I saw one thing on here. I'm gonna pull it up here.
Bro, you ever see like a person in a movie or know somebody and they got a name that like ruins that name forever?
Like Hitler?
Like, yeah, like you can't name your baby Adolf, right? Like that's crazy, right? But like, you ever seen that movie Weird Science?
You've told me about it. I haven't seen it.
It's 80s, bro. They make a homunculus out of a Barbie doll, basically. They get like panties on their head and they electrify this thing, and this model chick is born. You never seen this movie?
No, what was the name of it?
Weird Science. You're gonna love this. They make a homunculus, you know what I'm saying?
No, the one that
Anyway, there's a guy in that movie, his name is Chet. He's the older brother, and he's ruined the name Chet for me forever. He's such an asshole. It's crazy. He gets turned into a toad. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, Chet. That's one of those names that has like a hard CH pause. Yeah, like Chad too sometimes can be like that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Interesting. I'm gonna check this out. The
Kind of ruined as a name because of the whole like Chad stereotype.
Are these scars even real?
That's Gary Oldman in full costume.
Yeah, that's not real, bro. That's like makeup.
Oh, well, anyways, they call them proto chess, so that's what I was talking about, not that. Oh, they got 3.3 members here. Hold on.
Illuminati confirmed.
What is going on? You're referencing a Reddit with only 3,000 people looking at it, and you're like, yeah, all these people are calling Gary Oldman proto Chet Hanks.
Well, that's what I was. That's why I said proto Chet, because I saw it on the Reddit thing. That's why I pulled it up. So
ever see that movie Beach Bum?
Is that another movie, Beach Bum?
Yeah, this is the best movie maybe ever made.
Damn, dude, that's
this Matthew McConaughey as a beach bum, and he's just like got
and he's got all the bread in the world, and he doesn't do.
That's what Chet Hanks should watch.
That's what I'm saying, bro. He's got a Lamborghini. He spends it, but he don't give a, which is tight.
This is like a recent film with like a
It's epic. It's got Jimmy Buffett in there, dude. It's great.
Snoop Dogg's in it.
Yeah,
he's sketchy, bro.
Snoop Dogg?
Yeah, I feel like Snoop Dogg's a little sketchy too.
Oh, this plays into like, right, so there's a guy named Limp Dick.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, character name. Okay, yeah.
So this plays into like, a lot of the things that we talk about. We brought up Kanye West, and a lot of these guys are like the type of MK Ultra like people that they're real life characters that are influenced by the powers that be. For example, Kanye West, when he went on that whole MAGA thing, and he in the pictures he looked, like wide eyed, like
he came out with blonde hair. He looked fried. Remember that was after they threw him into mental ward or whatever for a second.
Yes,
hospital or whatever. 100%, dude.
And he
100%.
called Diddy a Fed. You remember that when he had texted him and he posted about it? He's like, "Shut the fuck up, you Fed."
Yo, what? Have you guys seen Puff on Drink Champs?
No.
Oh, you're gonna die, dude. He is. He calls Fabulous Daddy, and dude, it is hysterical. Can we play the audio from that?
Oh, what's it called?
The podcast is called Drink Champs with Noriega and DJ EFN or whatever, and Puff is on there with Fabulous and maybe somebody else, and he just starts. Oh, bro, he talks to that boy so wild. He's daddy, like that, and they're like, yo, pause, like what the, dude?
Yeah, I'll play it from TikTok. Give me a second here.
You're gonna love this.
Yeah, I've seen this before.
I never watched the podcast, but I know about it.
Here, let me share let me share sound. Share. All right, so this is I like when you like this, daddy. 6 seconds. This is P. Diddy calling Nor from Drink Champs daddy. So.
On TikTok. Search it on YouTube, homie.
No, you get pinged.
Oh.
Hold on.
What about for a podcast full of people?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. They'll still hear it. Here.
I like when you like this, Daddy. Daddy, I like when you scrambling and scraping for shit. I like that.
Bro, what?
That's like Capleton or some Rastafarian. Like, yo, they do not.
Daddy, I like when you scrambling and scraping for shit. I like that.
I like that, daddy.
Face. Look at his face. Like,
bro, what?
What? Scrambling and scraping?
Yeah, I don't know. And like, listen, dude. If you like dudes or you're bisexual or whatever, just come out and say it. What's the point of hiding behind this? Or maybe it takes away from that gangster allure or aesthetic, right? Because if you look at interviews of like Tupac.
Yeah, didn't we talk about that one? I feel like we talked about that, or maybe it was on another show I did, but you can watch an old clip of Tupac and he's like, yeah, so I was telling my friend, like, I need to get into the rap game. Like, he has, like, a completely different voice than, like, yo, I'm Tupac, you know? Like, it's not Tupac's voice. It's, like, a drama club.
It's almost like, again, they're hypnotized. And we know about Mike Tyson for a majority of his career.
They're just actors, dude.
No. They were... For a majority of his career,
Drake is an actor. He's acting to be a thug. He ain't a thug. He's an actor that was on TV from him a child. He's not a thug. He's an actor.
I mean, his music's not even tough either. So.
No, he's acting like a rapper.
Yeah.
Music sucks.
But so, bro, who gives a shit, though? If you're Sony and you're controlling, who cares? This horse is making me $100 million a quarter.
Yeah.
I don't give a
get a couple of those horses and then you're set. Yeah, whatever happens.
Dude. It's private jets, 100-meter yachts, so a GNC, dude. I just think it's good for business.
We're gonna go to the GNC.
Like so that they like. You ever seen CB4?
No, you got so many movies. You got Chris the movie wizard here.
Oh, the CB4, he lays it out for him in the thing. He asks him, they're about to get a movie contract.
With
and he's
Chris
like,
Rock?
Yeah, man. It's about a gangster thing, but it's all act. They're not gangsters at all. It's all act.
We need a Christery Science Theater.
Listen, we're going to go to the Aegean Sea. We're going to rent jet skis. And what we're going to do is we're going to ride out to one of these 100-meter yachts. And we're going to go ahead and pull up to the side of it. I'm going to hold you guys up. You guys are going to climb on the yacht. And then we're going to find the owner of the yacht. And we're going to tie him up. And we're going to question him about who controls the Illuminati.
Yes. Chris doesn't look enthused at all.
Nah, they got a lot of employees on those.
Bro, we'll take him out. I know karate, bro. Just like, bah, bah, bah. And just nunchucks and we'll just knock him out. And then it'll be like Rush Hour 4 or something, you know.
That's how they say. That's how like they start. And this is a favorite reference of mine. It's like that's how they start the one of the Bourne movies. You know, is somebody's like out in the water and he like swims up onto the boat and tries to clip him, right? And I think that's how they say Ghislaine Maxwell's father died. Same way.
Yeah. So he was allegedly he went overboard. near the Canary Islands. And if you look at like the lore of the Canary Islands and all this stuff, allegedly he drowned at sea. But
did you guys hear about that new one? Where the guy that fleeced HP for like $10 billion, they got hit with a water tornado outside of Sicily.
What? We talked about that on the phone, Chris.
Yeah, bro. And they think it's some sort of like chips that are in a waterproof safe that are at the bottom of the ocean. This is out of a James Bond movie.
What's the name of it?
Go and look up. Just type in Yacht anomalous storm, and you'll probably
Sicily maybe or something.
Yeah, Italy Yacht anomalous storm, because they wrote it off as like, oh yeah, hurricane came out of nowhere and hit just this one
boat.
Oh my God, no way.
Meanwhile, yeah, it was, and like National Geographic and Smithsonian all have it out like, well, anomalous weather in the Mediterranean.
Mike Lynch.
Yeah.
So this is software that supposedly can like.
Here's the thing. So you see this where one singular tornado hits this yacht. See, I think they can do stuff like that. Boom.
Yeah, targeted weather.
Hey, fire up the tornado ray. Yeah, we're gonna hit the Lynch one. Yeah, go ahead and run it. So let me pull this up here. This is really interesting. I know about this. I thought you were gonna talk about Liam Payne, bro.
So supposedly this software can read like metadata as a whole and basically like reverse engineer what your conversation was about.
What? Rescuers were on Monday searching for 6 people, including British tech tycoon Mike Lynch, who went missing after a luxury yacht was hit by a tornado and sank off the coast of Sicily, killing one of the 22 people on. Who'd it kill?
The guy and his business partner that come up with this, bro.
Oh my God.
Yeah, very targeted behavior. Like, it's crazy.
The vessel was hit by the tornado around 5 a.m. Monday, according to a spokesperson for Italy's Coast Guard. The yacht was anchored about half a mile from the port of Porcello on the Mediterranean island. 4 Britons, 2 Americans are among those missing. So I'm sure he's part of the 4.
What if they have like okay, you have a sniper and a silent helicopter, right? And then you have some sort of boat that can create like a targeted wave, you know? And then you just like snipe the guys and then knock the boat over. So everyone on the boat's just like, oh my God, the 2 guys are missing. Meanwhile, they got calculated, striked, and then the boat just gets turned upside down. So there's no other, major casualties.
So Italy is struck by about 100 tornadoes a year. Okay.
Italy, not the Mediterranean.
So check this out.
And also, isn't the difference between a tornado and a hurricane that one of them happens on land and one of them happens with the water? Like, why is there an ocean tornado?
Oh, that's a water spout. So those are different. So let's look that up. Water spout versus tornado. So, okay, so water spouts form over water while tornadoes form on land. So how the
tornado... What do you think the odds are that this guy that fleeced me for $10+ billion just freak died in a water spout? Like, the math is too ill.
Right. Well, and also, why are only those 2 people dead while 22 other people survive?
Now, like, Google what his product was. What did he sell to HP? Because this is going to get to the heart of the problem, right? Because you don't just kill random people. You kill people that it's advantageous to kill.
Oh, they already have him as dead. August 19, 2024.
Okay, so he come up with what? A technology entrepreneur for Economy Corporation.
It says it right there in his Wikipedia summary, Dark Trace.
Okay, what is that?
Click on it.
Where?
Bro.
Invoke Capital. Hold on. So... Dark Trace. Dark Trace is a British cybersecurity company established in 2013, headquartered in Cambridge, England, and it was acquired by Thomas Bravo in October 2024. So this month, American has over 130 billion in assets under management as of 2023.
Yeah, but you're missing the main point. Go back up to the first paragraph.
Dark Traces product
learning techniques to build an intrinsic pattern of life for every network device and user within an organization. Whatever that means, it sounds dangerous.
From this evolving understanding of normal, it can then detect potential threats as they emerge in real time. Isn't that what that one movie was about, where they would arrest you before you committed the crime? What's that one movie called?
Pre-crime, dude.
Yeah, future crime.
Yeah.
Future. What's the name of the movie though? It's called Minority Report.
Minority Report. That's the one.
Go back up to the first paragraph in the Wikipedia, the origins. It says right there, Lynch was the founder of Autonomy, sold to Hewlett Packard in 2011. Action leading to accusations of fraud and a legit fight over extraditing him to the United States. In 2024, Lynch and Autonomy's former finance executive Stephen Chamberlain were cleared of all fraud charges. Yeah, and that's why HP killed them. That's what Chris was talking about. Or, well, I'm not saying HP killed them, but maybe that's why they died.
Yikes. Yeah, no, that's a weird one, dude. I hadn't heard about that, but that's bizarre.
For anyone to see. I mean, it's not like we're like doing hard genius calculations here on the podcast. Like we're just reading between the lines on pretty simple stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, weird world we live in these days, and you know, it's definitely not a good time to be a billionaire selling, you know, dark web weapons technology.
Well, that's the thing, right? So at the core of all of this that we've talked about, we have this final product. So we have the thing that happened. So in this specific thing, he created a software, and then the yacht that he was on got hit by a tornado, whatever it was. And then the conspiracy behind who created that tornado or what created that tornado is the conspiracy.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? It's like, oh, how could this have happened or whatever? So we have the hurricane devastates Florida. Who created the hurricane? What do they want? Like, it's all these conspiracies behind this one thing that we know happened for a fact. And how you're saying we're reading between the lines, but for some people it's like, hey, it was just a tornado. It just happened and it was unfortunate. But he just so happened to create this other stuff that the other company wanted and blah, 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 right?
I kill you for $10, Juan. 10 billion. I'll kill you 4 times. That's a lot of bread, dog. Come on. You know you're getting whacked, bro. Because you got a set of presidents, too. Like, you think you're just going to get over on us?
It's about sending a message. We'll hit you with tornadoes, bro. Wherever you are, right now, we'll hit the button. I got the tornado machine up and running, dude. You let me know where, Chris. You give me the coordinates, and all I got to do is hit a button. Boom.
You know, it's crazy because it's not like all that shit is run off computers, and it's not like HP's in technology or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's like not like it's not like Eric Prince doesn't know a guy with guns. Like he does, you know? So I'm saying it's, you know, it's a big club. We ain't in it, I think. But, you know, here's the other thing. Like, if you were in Harvard and some, you know, super duper family, billions and yada, 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 you'd probably just be whacking people in mass too, right? Like strategically, right? To like up your way up the food chain, right? You'd just be like, it'd be in certain circles, I would imagine that's just kind of like normal. I mean, look at Hollywood, you know, like how many people get like sacrificed or whatever. Like a lot of people die randomly, right?
Well, let's talk about Liam Payne, the One Direction guy that fell off a balcony. You guys see that?
No.
You guys don't know what I'm talking about? The Liam Payne, everyone's going crazy over it on social media. You're talking about sacrifices.
I'm not a 13-year-old girl, so I don't know.
And he was also talking about P. Diddy and all this stuff. So one of the main guys of One Direction, Liam Payne branded Diddy evil before his horror death plunge. So he was talking about Diddy before he was thrown off, and he died in Buenos Aires, right?
Oh, he had him killed cheap, dude.
Buenos Aires, he died a couple days ago, and he again fell to his death during Liam Payne, and then people got into the Aries rising. It was a symbology of it, and it was a whole astrological alignment. So I don't know, dude. I mean, it's weird what happened to these guys, but he was involved with Diddy. He was dropping names about who would show up to these parties during an interview, and maybe he knew a little bit too much, or maybe he got unhinged, and they were like, hey, you know what? He's a liability. He saw us doing that thing with the donkey at the white party, and we got to take him out. You know what I'm saying? And he tripped, and over he went, right? So, and they've killed off a lot of like tech people. I know there was that lady in California, I think, that her car malfunctioned or something, and she ran into a wall. You guys ever see that?
Well, there was the dude that was the reporter that called out some general, like 4-star general, and they have footage of his car accelerating into a tree. And that was 20 years ago, right? Or whatever, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, it's crazy because, like, if you don't think there's an agenda to that, like smart cities, smart cars, smart yada, 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 you got to be tripping because all that stuff can be hacked. It's all computers. I know it looks like a car, but it's really just a big computer, right? And that's, I think, really what we're dealing with at the end of the day is this technology is becoming invasive. It's like, it's stepped over this threshold. It's like part of your life now, all the time, for everybody, everywhere. Even like those kids in the Congo getting porn and not doing anything, right? You seen this, Mark?
That was a different rainforest, but yeah.
It's like, dude, it's this thing. It's like infected our species.
Yeah. I think that was in the Amazon rainforest.
Yeah, when I say the Congo.
Yeah, no, it's all right. But I think it was in the Colombia portion of the Amazon rainforest. But yeah, that's another one of those scary thoughts, is how the world's going to change in all these other places. Like, we've already committed to, oh yeah, well, we're born in the digital kind of age, we have all this stuff around us, but now we're seeing the rest of the world change, and it's like, do we even have time to warn them? Like, no, we're already seeing the problems being on the inside out here, looking out. But yeah, I don't know.
It's crazy because that stuff is a trip, man, because it's like, where do you stop with technology? Because humans aren't going to stop. So it's like, was the invention of the fire, you can't go beyond that, because inevitably it turns into AI. Well, unless you're smart enough to realize it along the way and correct course, assuming that it's going to be a bad thing.
Yeah. I think all this stress about, like, well, what's going to happen, and none of it matters, because we're all just going to continue to exist, in the way that we do. I think that we're heading towards better and better times. Sometimes that's hard to, prove when everything's happening the way it is. But yeah, no, I don't really stress about it as much as we talk about this kind of stuff on the podcast, because at the end of the day, it's like, if it happens, it happens. If the world ends, it happens. If not, we're still going to be here.
Here's the problem is, everybody that looks at it that's like us, that's like kind of worried about it to one degree or another, sees the inevitability of this thing going where it's at into like more and more stringent, like more and more effect on our lives, to the end of communism, to the end of total control, global prison, you're a number. That's the inevitable down that path that I think everybody's afraid of, right?
It's like Westworld, when they broke the machine so that people could have chaos and freedom.
It's weird because it's one way or the other, right? It kind of seems like, but it's also like maybe not the best idea. But then you've got lunatic coders that could be coding God knows what into those things too. You don't know.
Yeah. Well, I've never seen Westworld. Somebody said that to me on the podcast.
Well, you gotta watch it, bro. It's wild.
Yeah,
I watched the movie that it's based on. The TV show is based on an old movie from the 70s, and it was very interesting, the movie. Have you guys seen the movie Westworld?
Mm-mm.
I don't think so, no.
See, everyone's like, oh, Mark, you gotta watch it. Nah, you gotta watch this one, homie. It's good. It's really interesting. The robots turn on the guests who are in like this cybernetic future resort where, you know, you can like, if you want to go to play cowboys, you know, you go play cowboys and you shoot them up. And there's these robots that shoot back, you know. And then there's like medieval world where you're like a king and fighting knights.
Samurai world, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I don't think they have the samurai world in the original movie. That's probably from the TV show. Yeah, they only had 4, and they only really go to 2 different worlds in the. They show the Roman world, they show the other one, but they really are only in the medieval world and the Western world the whole time. But yeah, it was a really interesting film. It was all right. It wasn't spectacular, but it was interesting, like, to think about. Oh, here's the point that's worth mentioning, though. So the hook of this film, Westworld, that came out in 1973, was that the only difference between humans and these robots that were made to look exactly like humans was the hands. You can tell by looking at their hands, which isn't that what they say about AI? AI has trouble making.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hands.
Really weird that in the 70s, this movie has this kind of reference, and that's actually true to this day with the technology we have for AI. It's like has trouble creating hands. What is that? Why is that in there like that, you know, in the 70s? Maybe they were trying to play around with that kind of stuff.
Well, it gets into like predictive programming, right? So whenever we talk to Chris, he always like boom, 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 puts out all these movies that he's seen because he's like the, you know, cinemagician wizard. And it feels like a lot of these movies do talk to us, and like they have like this subliminal programming in the subconscious with these concepts. We're talking about a movie that was, what'd you say, in the 80s, bro? 73 that has the same kind of concept of today with the AI and how people are able to tell. It's gotten better now, but people were able to tell about the AI based off the fingers, and, you know, people get into the whole Nephilim thing and all that, you know, stuff. But yeah, no, it is interesting. But I do think that does life imitate art, or does art imitate life? Like, which one is it? You know what I'm saying?
Man, I think that's the case. Well,
you're talking about Trump.
Barron's adventure that supposedly only came to the internet in 2017 now, according to some Mandela effect that's going around that I've seen people post about.
And Back to the Future, the whole movie, I mean, it's all Trump stuff. So
yikes.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Yeah. Back to the Future. We still don't have hoverboards.
Biff.
Man. Dude, that is a dystopian future when he's like at the Trump hotel and there's like biker gangs in there. His mom's like a whore. You're like, oh, future doesn't look that rad, dude.
Hey, we might be in that right now.
Yeah, we do kind of sort of have the hoverboards, the one that you stand on, and I lost control one time with those things. I was spinning in a circle. I couldn't stop it from spinning in a circle.
The one wheel ones, the one where you lean forward, kind of.
No, it was the double, the one you stand on with the 2 feet, and then you kind of like a Segway, you lean forward.
Like the snake one where it goes sideways like that.
No,
Yo, have you seen the one where it's like a like in the water? It's got like a board with like a fin, and then it propels through the water, and you kind of just glide above the water like a foot.
This thing, bro.
No, look at hydrofoil one. Look up hydrofoil.
Yeah, look at it's crazy.
Yeah, I've seen this one. Yeah, boat.
Yeah, exactly. They do it on a lot of like ferries, just so like it glides easier and smoother.
Damn, son.
Yeah, ferries. Yeah, like that one there on the bottom. See?
That's wild, dude.
Bro, I would never put my car on that, bro. I would die, dude. I would be so worried.
They're dope.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, they glide. You know, it makes it a lot less chop. You know, for like sea that's like rough. You know, you ever seen what would the other one that the military thought they were gonna? It was like the big where it's got the air underneath it.
Wow, these are crazy looking. I didn't realize you can put that much like mass on a hydrofoil and it flies like that.
Oh, they've been using this for a minute. Look how old this picture looks, dude.
You seen I don't know if it's a Mandela effect, but they there's all these World War II photos of all these boats with
The camouflage.
Yeah, that crazy like psychedelic camo on them. We probably talked about it.
Yeah, I think we've seen this before. Yeah, it's like Art Deco almost.
Well, so you can't read. They do it to cars still that they're testing so that other spies from other car companies can't get the shape. It distorts the shape of the thing.
Yeah. Well, you can't tell how many ships you're looking at if they're
All right,
all...
look at the color one, bro.
Yeah, it's
No.
crazy.
Go up to the one up before.
Imagine those dudes pulled up and they started letting the cannons off. You'd be like, you did it, and you're doing it with all this flair? Like,
Bro, that's crazy.
yeah.
All right, folks. Well, listen, look up hydrofoils and World War III or World War II boat camo. Not World War III. We're not there, hopefully ever, but maybe not. But this was the Illuminati confirmed.
Illuminati confirmed.
In the reunion show, might as well be, right? A big shout out to Fart Boys. Follow at Fart Boys wherever you're on Instagram and check them out online. They got some sick going on. Anything else you want to say, Chris, before we wrap up?
Nope. I hope
No.
everybody's doing great. Peace and love to the gods.
Yeah, absolutely. You know me, my family thinks I'm crazy. One-on-one podcast. Follow up, whether you came for one or the other. This is our crew. This is our podcast crew. You've seen, the P. Diddy crew and all the weird stuff that went on with that set of rappers. Well, we're a podcast crew, and there's no 50-foot beds or there's no crazy exclusive parties. We
No
just
baby
talk,
oil. Yeah.
just talk on Zoom and occasionally over the phone. I think this is the way it should be. None of this would have happened if P. Diddy just had Zoom parties, right? So, anyways, until next time, thanks, brother.
Later.
Thanks.